Okay, so if you fill up your room, and again, we were required by EPA to put a single engineered barrier, whatever you want. We chose MgO, it's kind of a sand-sized coat dolomite deposit. It's unnecessary, but it works fine. In 10 years, the wall floor ceiling has come up. You've broken those stacks. This powdered MgO chloride is falling around the drums. If water does get in, it buffers the pH of 9.5, which is the minimum solubility for PU, plutonium oxide, and any other phase, actually. It's also a great desiccant, so it'll absorb water, produce brucite. It also forms sorrel cement. It's a very nice hard cement. When the groundwater in this region, although it only moves an inch per billion years, does get in there, it will interact and form a nice cement. So after about 1,000 years, it's a big trash compactor. It's done. Nothing is going to happen here. You're back to the original properties of the salt. Hydraulic conductivity less than 10 to the minus 14 centimeters per second. Diffusion coefficient about 10 to the minus 15. I mean, that's pretty much the solid state diffusion coefficient. And again, nothing's going to get in or out for about 1 billion years. So this is not your 10,000 year trying to get to with titanium drip shields. This is the salt. The salt is everything. You don't need any packaging. You don't need any. Just get it there. So if you satisfy Department of Transportation requirements, meaning if you're an alpha emitter, you put it in standard waste boxes or steel 55-gallon drums and overpacks. All you have to do is satisfy Department of Transportation requirements to get it there. Once it's in the ground, nothing's going to happen to it. And it can corrode, it can crack, it's just fine. Doesn't matter. So a 10-year snapshot, it'll be 10 years, January 17th. I'm sorry, February 17th. About 100,000 loaded waste containers, the equivalent of 300,000 55-gallon drums, 60,000 cubic meters of true waste. Rocky Flats, half of Rocky Flats is in WIP. And again, nothing's happened. Now, why am I here? I'm director of the Environmental Monitoring and Research Center, radiochemistry facility. We've been monitoring air, water, soil, and people in a 100-mile radius of WIP since 1993. Okay, so essentially, this is the only nuclear facility in the world that has a before and after on its population and its environment. And the population is cool. We call it the lie down and be counted program. Okay, so anyone can just walk in. You guys can just come down, walk in, we'll count you. It's the best whole body count in the world. I'm biased, but it is. So we routinely analyze for everything you might want in this waste, including the RECO constituents, because the state of New Mexico controls RECO. Okay, so we have to know if any lead's coming out. And of course, organics, headspace gas, the whole bit. So just to give you some numbers here, we see everything. So the whole idea was, this is not compliance, this is science. So we want to get down below background, we want to see everything. So we see plutonium all the time. We have aerosol collection points around this region. We look at the air coming out of the ground, out of the mine every day. We see plutonium everywhere, okay? But it's just background. And it's actually tied to seasonal dust. So you can look at the aluminum concentration and also see that spike. So it's just dust. So in a big, strong wind, you'll get some known dust blowing in from 10 miles away, and you'll get a little bit more. It's not very good. Same thing with the air. We collect particulates in the air coming out of WIP every morning. And again, this is just the background. This is gross alpha beta. And you can just see this, the seasonal dust effects. So again, yes, there's plutonium there, there's plutonium everywhere. We're breathing plutonium, but it's no big deal. So from a radiological effect, we cannot see, if you work at WIP, because we do want workers too, that you live near WIP, or that WIP even exists. There's no radiological signature to WIP, period. But we can see if you smoke. Okay, we can see if you breathe dust from Chernobyl. I hired a radiochemist from Poland down the Chernobyl peak, kind of cute. You never see anything. Dust storms in China, we'll see that. And we'll see if you're an extreme sports person. Potassium 40 built up in your muscle, but we can't see WIP. So we can see all this little minor stuff that has nothing to do with health or anything else, but we can't see that WIP exists. So that shows operationally WIP is safe. So operationally WIP is doing it. The DNA found in the 230 million year old seawater gives you an idea of the geologic performance of the salt. So between the two